Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian.
And I'm Manuel Marini, executive chef.
Okay, so Chef Manny, when I was growing up, Dad used to tell us a way to tell when the spaghetti was done. He'd say, take a piece of spaghetti and throw it up on the ceiling, and if it sticks, it's done. The only problem was how to get it off the ceiling.
You know what, Tim, now that you tell me, last time you invited me over to your house,
yeah,
when we were in the kitchen, I looked up and I thought, man, what kind of texture does he have on his ceiling?
it was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, did you must have had a hard time trying to get them down, did you?
Well,
but guess what?
What?
I'm going to show you how to cook pasta.
So there's a better way.
There is a better way, a simple way.
Okay.
And you hear it all the time, just throw it against the wall, the ceiling, and if it comes down, you're ready to go. Well,
Yep.
the whole idea is that you look at behind the package,
Yep.
all right? And it tells you 15 to 20 minutes cook, make sure your water's boiling and stuff like that.
Different pastas take different times.
Thickness
Okay.
and, you know, how the length and also the quantity of pasta you put in there, too.
Yes,
Because if you
yep.
put a lot of pasta, it's going to take a little longer.
And that's why you want to start with your water at a rolling boil.
At a rolling
Okay.
boil, okay.
Okay.
Another thing is that some people prefer, some don't. You do add a little pinch of salt,
Yep.
all right? Just a
Yep.
pinch. Not,
Yep.
It doesn't take much. But a lot of people might not like to add oil to it. I like the oil. They say, it's, you know, once you throw it in there, you stir it around, and then when you pull it out, all that stuff. So,
And
I'll
that
show you
makes
how
it
to
not
do
stick together as bad when you pull it out.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is that I like using the olive oil or just a cheap salad oil, maybe some margarine or something like that, just so it doesn't stick.
Yep.
Another thing is, even though the package says within 20 minutes it should be ready, best thing to do is just pull one out.
Like 18
halfway.
minutes.
Yeah, just pull one out, cool it down because it's going to be hot, and blow on it and just bite to it. Once you find that your teeth just sinks through it until the last second,
It's firm.
boom, you're ready to go.
It's firm to the bite.
It's firm to the bite. And that's what al dente means.
Al dente.
Firm to the bite.
To the bite. Okay. All
All
right.
right, so we're going to do that.
All right, so go ahead. So,
I got the pasta going, right?
Yep.
We got some pasta going.
Yep.
Again, when we talk about pasta, you know, put plenty of water. Don't put just a little pasta thinking the sooner it boils and put all this pasta, it's not going to cook right.
You want
So
a lot
make
of
sure-
water.
You want a lot of water. Let it cook, then throw your pasta. Another mistake people do is that they put the water and they put the pasta and wait till it boils. Don't do that
No.
because you're going to have one mushy pasta.
and if you have a lot of water that's a rolling boil, you can put a lot of pasta in there, and there's enough heat in that water that it'll return to a boil.
You want to
fast.
make sure you cover that pasta.
Yep.
Maybe one time more, 1.5 times. You know what I mean? Just make sure, because the water will evaporate,
Yep.
and the pasta will absorb some of the water.
Yep.
So that's number one. And then we're gonna make fresh pesto.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you now. Okay, so you've hit your 18 minutes. It's to the bite. Then what?
Okay. Once we know this is the pasta I want,
Yep.
I'm gonna pull it out, pour the water out, and cool it. You gotta cool it as quick as possible.
So maybe put it in a colander.
Put it in a colander, let some cold water, run some cold water, and maybe
Cold
throw some
water.
ice cubes in there. And make sure you stir it, not just because you put ice cubes in there, it's going to cool it down.
Yeah.
The center of the pasta is going to be mushy, so make sure you turn it and just twist and
So
fold it over and over, and make sure your pasta
You
cools
literally want to stop it from cooking right then.
down. Remember when you burn yourself, it burns
Yeah.
for a long time?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a pasta. It just keeps cooking and cooking and cooking, okay?
Okay.
So
All right.
that's the thing. And then we're going to do this. We're going to saute some chicken,
Okay.
all right? And we're going to make a fresh pesto.
Ooh, okay.
All right,
Pesto,
and
that
we
sounds
talked about
good.
the pesto the other day. What are the main ingredients
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to show you how to make fresh pesto.
All right,
Now you can
sounds
buy
good.
it locally. You can buy it just about anywhere.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful because it's
too salty.
It's salty, and that's what preserves the pesto from being there. So you have to add more salt.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long to do so.
And, a lot of people in East Texas, they see pesto on recipes, they hear pesto in a restaurant, but I bet a lot of people don't know how to make a pesto. And this is, when I saw you put this together, this is an easy thing to make.
Oh, it's great. It's a fun pasta dish.
Well, let's do it.
Okay, great. Main ingredient for pesto: basil,
Okay.
parsley.
Yep.
You can use regular parsley, Italian parsley,
Okay.
Nice and green. Another one would be some fresh garlic,
Yeah.
a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and of course a little olive oil.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sounds good?
All right.
Okay. So here we got our basil.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm pull this basil out. And as a matter of fact, we can use just practically the whole thing. I'm just going to cut this part of it off.
Okay.
I'm just going to use the leaves.
All right. And basil, out of those 6 ingredients that you named in this pesto, 5 of them have well-documented health benefits. You know, everybody knows about extra virgin olive oil. It's good for our heart. We've heard about garlic. It's good for our heart. Basil, a fresh herb, has 7 times the antioxidant content of its dried counterpart.
So we're talking basil, parsley.
Parsley is another good one. Big time antioxidant content in fresh parsley. If people knew how healthy parsley was, they would never let the server take their plate with that garnish on it. They would be eating that parsley with their food. The reason, for example, like whenever you, let's say you grill some meat, and the drippings drip down on the coals, and then the smoke that wafts back up and flavors the meat, makes it taste good. But in that smoke also are cancer-causing agents. And parsley is cancer preventive. There are antioxidants in parsley that neutralize those cancer-causing chemicals. Isn't that
that's
amazing?
good to know.
Yeah.
That is very good to know. And there's other myth about parsley too.
Well, parsley's...
It helps you digest your food.
That's true. That's true. And also parsley is... so you actually did quite a bit of basil there.
Oh, I love basil.
All right. And
we're going to probably do the same amount of just about everything. You know what I mean? The basil and the parsley. And
in your recipe, you'll see that you're not going to use all of this pesto sauce in this dish. You're going to make enough so that you have some later that you can mix with some pasta, just to have pasta and pesto.
Yeah. And you can use the pesto as a marinade as well. I mean, you know, a nice little pesto chicken. Hold that for me right there. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do a nice pesto chicken. You know, I mean, pesto can go a long way. You can season vegetables with pesto. You know, when you're sauteing some nice fresh vegetables, add a little pesto. So you got a little basil, garlic.
I notice how you're changing the plane that you cut this in. You're still cutting the same, but you rotated what you were cutting so that you could cut everything fine.
And you know, pesto really doesn't have to be fine. I mean, when you buy it in a grocery store, they probably put it in a food processor, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is fun right here.
Well,
I want it to be... I want the flavors there, but I want it to also show when you do your plate.
Well, and I like the texture. You know, I don't want it to be all blended together. I like the texture of these different elements that you're adding. Parsley is high in potassium, which of course helps control blood pressure.
And that's good to know. Okay, so we got a little chopped basil and a little chopped parsley.
Okay.
I got a little bit of olive oil.
Okay, so you're going to add some extra virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil.
I mean, this is literally just mixing ingredients together. There's not a lot to this.
And that's all. I got here a little chopped garlic.
Okay. All right.
One of the things that we could also look at, Tim, is pine nuts.
Pine nuts.
Okay, that's traditional. That is a traditional pesto.
Yeah.
A little pine nuts. But pine nuts sometimes seem to go up and down in prices. You can also use almonds. You can use other type of nut.
So any kind of nut.
Yeah. To me, any kind of nuts. We're just going to put some pine nuts.
If you're going to use like almond or walnut or something, just chop them, huh?
Just chop them up.
Yeah. Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this well.
Okay. And see, pine nuts, there again, in the nut and seed family, this is another healthy, you've heard us talk about pine nuts, or not pine nuts, but you've heard us talk about nuts and seeds and the health benefits. People who eat a handful of nuts about 5 times a week have half of the heart disease risk than those who don't.
Okay. Now, we're going to put a little bit of Parmesan because I like to put a little Parmesan at the end. So we don't want to, overload it with sodium. Yeah, we're just going to put a little bit, okay?
Yeah. So you're balancing flavors, but you're also balancing nutrients. This is beautiful.
So this is nice. All right. Now we're going to refrigerate this real quick.
And as it's sitting in the refrigerator, the flavors are blending. So when you get ready to use it, it's going to be ready to eat. Let me smell.
Smells good.
Oh, it smells so fresh.
I'm going to go ahead and refrigerate this. All right, Tim. Now we're going to do the chicken.
Okay.
First, let me take my watch off. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Chicken, raw meat,
yeah.
You don't want to contaminate. You might be,
Salmonella.
you might have salmonella, or even if you're using fish or stuff like that, it's really not that good to have jewelry on.
You need to handle
because you got to wash your hands really good.
That's
but sometimes it sticks to your watch or your rings. You know what I mean? So let me put this right here.
Okay.
I know my wife is probably going to get mad during this time, but that's okay.
Okay.
She understands.
She understands.
She understands. She's a dietitian.
And she's married to a chef.
Exactly. So, okay, I got some raw chicken. Nice. All right.
Yep.
So what I want to do is we're going to put it here. Now, you notice I changed my board. All right.
Yep.
One
Yep.
thing that we always got to keep an eye on is also when we're doing all this stuff, we got to change or wipe the board down completely. That way, we don't want to contaminate everything.
We have to think what.
Yeah. Let me wash my hand real quick.
Okay. So.
All right, Tim.
So in handling raw meat, this is especially true for chicken or fish, you're always conscious of what did the chicken touch, because you assume that the chicken has bacteria that can make you sick.
Exactly. Okay. I got my chicken.
Yep.
No skin. So that's good.
Yep.
Little salt, and I use a little kosher salt. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And then I got some black pepper.
Yep.
Now, you know, you can buy the black pepper already grind. I like the cracked black pepper, so a little spicy here.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do is and I didn't do too much because that's the trick to this. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna slice it bias right here.
Okay.
All right.
So are you going all the way through there?
Yeah, all the way through.
Okay.
Because that's gonna be our pasta dish.
Oh, okay.
And this is one of those things that once you get the pasta, and I see the pasta there, Tim. It's looking pretty good. Let me wash my hand real quick. Okay, so our pasta look good?
Oh, it is. It is looking good.
All right, good. Go ahead and pull one out and blow on it, okay?
Okay, all
Don't
right.
make it too. And tell me if you're ready. And then we're going to go ahead and just submerge it. What do you think?
Al dente.
Okay,
Al dente.
good. I'm going to pull this out, Tim. And I'm going to let the water run.
Okay.
Okay, so now I got my chicken ready. I got my pan hot. Okay? So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of olive oil.
I don't know if you wanted this or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to grab my chicken, okay? I got the olive oil going, so
Yep.
we're going to saute the chicken.
Yep. So, and you mentioned that this was a boneless, skinless chicken. Of course, most people these days know that the skin of chicken is high in saturated fat. And in fact, the cholesterol in chicken skin is worse for your blood lipids than beef fat.
All right, Tim, we got that, okay? If you don't mind, can you hand me that cutting board?
Yep. So back to the vegetable cutting board.
Back
You're
to
not
the
using
vegetable.
the red meat cutting board.
Nope. And then here I got some nice red peppers.
Yep.
I got some sun-dried tomatoes. I got some fresh spinach. So what I'm going to do right here is julienne these peppers. The chicken is cooking. And this is one of those dishes that really don't take too long. Okay, Tim?
And I'm noticing how you're cutting this pepper because, you know, people are always asking, how do you cut a bell pepper? And so what you're doing is you're just cutting the sides off.
The sides off.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it makes it easy.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than
And
the way I would
you really
have
don't
done
have to waste much because then
Yeah.
you can go around
it. Yeah.
and cut this part here.
Yeah, I would have done that a lot harder.
And I'm done.
Okay.
So I make it look easy.
Yeah.
And it is easy.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a little bit of poblanos here, so we're going to just throw a little poblanos. Okay, Tim?
Okay. All right. And poblano is a pepper that you've taught us about on the show.
Wonderful flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of a triangle-shaped pepper. You can find this at Brookshire Brothers, sponsor
Real
of the
dark.
show. Yeah, it's a dark green color, and it's not hot. Take the seeds out.
Yeah, take the seeds. It can be hot, but
Yeah.
it's got a nice, to me, it's got everybody has their own flavor taste, but to me it's got a smoky, nice flavor to it.
And also, you kind of taught me to use this pepper too. I've noticed when I'm cooking with it at home, it holds up well to sautéing. It's a little tougher than a bell pepper. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. To an extent.
Yeah.
Because once you
Yeah.
cook it off, it really does
Well,
kind of dissolve itself
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I got some nice sun-dried tomatoes.
Okay.
And those are good. You can buy them at the market too.
And you know, anything that is dried, like in this case, that means that it's more nutrient dense. So raisins are a nutrient dense food. They're higher in nutrients for the volume that they are. It's because the water's out of it.
Here, Tim,
Let's
I got
dilute.
some fresh spinach.
Okay. It's
Okay.
beautiful.
Nice spinach.
Another dark green leafy. And you're not cutting that quite as little.
This one cooks fast.
Okay.
So I'm just trimming it down a little bit. So
Yeah.
because I'm gonna add it right at the last minute. I want to be able to have that green color.
You know, people tend to, whenever I talk about spinach and fiber, people tend to think because it's a green and leafy that's high in fiber. It's actually not. Spinach is a very good vegetable to eat. It's very nutrient dense, but it's not a good source for fiber, and you can tell because of the way it cooks down.
Right.
You know.
But if you eat a lot of spinach.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you were to compare that amount of leaves of spinach to that amount of leaves of cabbage, for example, cabbage won't cook down like that spinach does, or collard greens, for example.
That's good to know. Okay, so I want to make sure that the chicken is cooked, okay, before we add the pasta.
Yep.
Because once we add the pasta, we're just really heating up the pasta. So we want to make sure the chicken's good, okay? So we just take your time. It's getting some nice flavors to it.
Beautiful. It's absolutely.
Right. So we save the spinach last. You know, I have a little bit of pine nuts left. If I wanted to, I can throw it in there, make some crunch. Maybe we'll garnish it at the end. Add a little Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Okay, Tim?
Okay. Now I see you have. Is this a cayenne pepper?
Cayenne pepper. We're gonna spice it up. We're gonna
at the end.
Yeah, because we have the poblanos there.
Yep.
Like I said, sometimes it could be a little hot. Sometimes it might not. So a little touch of cayenne or crushed red pepper if you have some.
Yep.
You know, that's nice to have.
Okay.
There you go. So we're just going to let it cook for a few minutes. So now we got that. What I want to do is add my spinach. Okay. All right.
It's beautiful
spinach. Beautiful green spinach. Like I said, it only takes a few minutes, okay? So while that's coming up to heat, I got the pasta. I drained it all. Okay, Tim?
Yep.
So I got my spoon here. What I want to do is I'm going to pull the noodles in there. We're going to toss this out.
And you could use any kind of pasta with this.
You know, you can make linguine, you can use fettuccine, spaghetti, macaroni. I mean, it's your choice of pasta. Whatever you have in the pantry. It's just a pasta dish.
Okay. Now, you know, I have to stir this.
Well, let me show you. I know you got to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll catch a noodle here and there, but, you know, you got to just learn how to do this.
You know, that's an expression. Catch a noodle.
Catch a noodle. Okay, I got the pesto right here. Okay, Tim?
Yep.
Like I said, you could use a blender and just blend it all together real good. I just like it chunky.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to be able
the
to
texture.
Yeah. So we're gonna put that. We can always add a little bit more. All right.
Okay.
So let's get this hot.
Okay. Good catch. So beautiful.
Definitely.
Okay. Now I feel the need to stir this.
Go for
so
it,
I just have to stir. You know, the stirring is the fun part.
Then you're going to start smelling the basil, the pine nuts. You're going to start smelling the garlic.
I wish you could smell this.
This is really good.
And does this look like a picture of health? Gosh.
And you know, another thing is if you got eggplants at home, you got zucchini, yellow squash, do that.
Oh, yeah.
Add some mushrooms. The more vegetable you have, the healthier you'll be. And you know,
you don't have to be a dietitian to enjoy something like this.
No.
All right.
This is fun.
Okay.
Tim, there's that pretty plate right behind you.
Yep.
If you don't mind. Go ahead, put it right there, and I'm just going to... That's a nice little bottom of the plate.
There you go.
The thing about this pasta dish is that you want to show off the colors. The basil started to kick in. You can smell it, huh, Tim? Oh, that's
you know, the French would say, mettez le petit dans le grand. They would say, put the little on the big. And
put the lid on the big.
And that's what they mean on having a plate like this.
So what we want to do is we want to get a little bit of everything. Look at that. That's pretty.
Absolutely
nice little
gorgeous. Okay, you're making me hungry.
Yeah. And then remember we saved a little bit because we want to
just a little garnish.
Just a little garnish, okay?
Okay.
That's it. And then again, we didn't add the cayenne. You know what I mean? But
so you
could actually put a little bit here. You know what I mean? Or you can throw it in here and just toss it together.
So what you're really after is just a little pick, not to make it hot, just a pick.
Yeah, just a nice smooth bite to it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So this right here would be our nice little pasta.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put this one to the side because we're gonna have a good lunch today. So now that we got the pasta, Tim, now it's time for the dessert. And we're going to do a nice mango strawberries. Mangoes are in season. They're coming out. They're juicy, beautiful strawberries, nice yogurt, make it healthy.
Okay.
So let's start off with the mango, Tim.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I remember that we had a show of mangoes. I showed
you showed us how to cut them. That's right.
So
you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got your knife there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you sure you want a dietitian to do this?
Yeah, you can do it. I know you can.
You know, if a dietitian can cut a mango...
Remember what I told you. Never be afraid of your knife. Your knife won't cut you. You're going to cut yourself.
I will.
You will.
Okay,
So
that's
gotta
right.
pay attention.
Well, what you've taught us to do, Chef Manny, is to get a flat surface so that you can set him like that.
Exactly.
Now, also, you've told me to cut the top off so that, and I'll show you why in a minute. So now it's just a matter of peeling this down the side, just like this.
Just guiding yourself, exactly.
Yeah. And then,
so you don't waste so much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Things are not cheap nowadays.
That's
so
exactly
you have to
right.
Really,
Am I doing that okay?
Yeah, you're great.
All right, I'm not
That's
getting
a beautiful
too much.
mango too.
Okay. You know, Chef Manny, on a beach trip I went on recently, I told the guys, I said, you know, Chef Manny taught me how to cut a mango. And they were surprised. They didn't know how to cut a mango. They should have been watching Memorial Cooking Innovations.
They should have. But now I bet you told them to watch it because you're going to be cutting a mango.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to just do this. Now you know the seed in this is this way. And so I'm cutting kind of with the seed. Ooh, this is a beautiful mango. The mangoes these days are just really pretty.
Okay, one hand advice now that you reach that point, now go ahead and lay it down, see?
Oh, okay.
It won't roll on you.
Okay.
Because we're going to dice this mango, so really you just
so
want to...
I'm going to go like this?
Yeah, just take as much as you can out of the seed. And I'm gonna plant the... You want to plant that seed?
He's slippery, so you got to watch your fingers on this. Just make sure that when you're cutting, you're not cutting in the direction of your fingers. Okay. Is this how Chef Manny would do it?
That's it.
Okay. Are you just saying that because the camera's rolling?
Okay.
Okay, now how do I get to that part?
Okay.
Okay, show me. Right here?
Yeah,
make
just
a flat
like
side.
That, and then stand him up.
Okay,
there. You go.
Okay, see?
You know what I mean?
I'm learning. Now, I didn't do it this way when I was on the beach trip, but see?
No, you just peeled and ate the whole mango with seed and all, right?
Well, I continued to cut both sides until I couldn't hold it anymore, and then I didn't know what to do. Okay?
You're pretty good. Same thing again.
All right.
So I'm going to take over from here, Tim.
Okay.
Once you find the, like I said, once you find the seed, you just got to be very careful. That's all.
Don't do like he's doing because there you go. That's it. You know, you're a trained professional. You can do that, but
yeah. And you are going to have some. Better be safe than sorry, right, Tim? Okay, so we got that.
Okay. Now show me what you're going to do with that.
This we're just going to dice it up, okay?
Okay.
Because we want it to make it bite size.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're just going to dice this mango up. And if you don't mind, Tim, I got those strawberries. I just wash them. And one thing, always wash your fruit. Okay? Wash them before you put them on the cutting boards and before you do anything. Because even though they look nice and clean, they might not be clean. So, but just for safety reasons, just make sure you wash your fruit. I got that little paring knife, Tim. If you don't, if you don't mind, you can do these. Yeah, well, I'll do these.
Okay. So
all right, Tim. So now that we got our fruit cut up, ready to go, we got the recipe calls for Quattro.
Cointreau, yeah.
So it's really what kind?
It's an orange liqueur.
It's an orange or Grand Marnier.
So we could use either one.
We have Grand Marnier in the house, so let's use the Grand Marnier.
Okay.
And a little bit on both, and we're going to toss it to flavor.
You know, I learned not to use too much on this because you overpower and also you blow your guests away. You don't want them to stagger home.
No.
You think that's enough?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more on this one.
Okay.
But that's good. And then because it also has a lot of sugar in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you don't want
it too sweet.
Yeah, you want to feel the flavors.
Okay.
While you do that, if you don't mind tossing it, I got you the spoons there.
Okay.
There you go. And I got you some nice parfaits.
Okay. All right.
And then we have some yogurt here.
All right. And I believe that's a low-fat yogurt.
Yes.
Okay.
And then and then we're gonna top it off with the little granolas. We got low-fat granola.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. And so we want to start with, our recipe says mango, yogurt, strawberry, and granola. So we're going to do mango first. Okay. A little bit of mango. Okay. Okay. Yogurt.
You got the yogurt here.
And this is a vanilla yogurt, so it's got a little vanilla,
flavor.
Nice vanilla flavor. I'm going to do just a little bit more here. Va bene?
Va bene.
Okay. And then we're going to come back with the strawberry. Doesn't this make a beautiful dessert? You know, you see how easy this is to put together. And yet, when you serve this, okay, then we come back with a little more yogurt. When you serve this to your guests, they're going to think that you had a chef come in and prepare this meal that you're serving them. Better yet, you could have all this put together in the refrigerator, and the flavors are blending while you're entertaining, and then you bring all this out and do it in front of them. Would that not be cool?
Yeah. And before you do that, Tim,
yep.
I want to do one more little thing. I just want to give it just a pinch more of color.
Okay.
We're just going to put a few of those here and a few here, if you don't mind.
Yeah. This is the chef in you coming out.
And then we're going to add, because we want to show everybody something different. You know what I mean? And then a couple of them here and a couple of there.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And then let's top it off with the granola. And the thing about the granola, you want it crunchy. You know, that's a whole.
So you want.
Feel free to just granola.
You want a lot or a little?
A little bit, but I mean,
like
that's
this?
beautiful. Yeah. And then I got our whipped topping.
Yeah.
You know, low-fat vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Sugar-free ice cream would be also nice on this.
Yeah.
Just a little bit on top. So we're just going to put that. And then we're going to refrigerate
You just have
this
a
for
way
a few
of
minutes.
making these so beautiful. Voila.
Voila.
Okay.
And there it is. Okay, Tim, now that we finished.
Okay, so let's wrap up, huh?
Okay, but let me quiz you first.
All right.
We learned how to make pasta, so how do we cook the pasta?
Okay, so we want to start with the water boiling, and we want to have plenty of water, more water than we have pasta. So then we're going to add that pasta to the boiling water, rolling boil, and we're going to
stir it.
Stir it, yeah, and then we're going to cook it for the number of minutes that it says on that package, or maybe just one less. And then when that timer goes off, we're going to drain all that water off, and we're going to put cold water on the pasta so that it doesn't continue to cook. And then we have al dente pasta.
So we don't have to throw it on the ceiling.
So we don't have to stick around, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay. And
so that's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's what I wanted to make sure.
And
because a lot of people do ask me, every time they cook the pasta, make sure your water is boiling. Remember, that's important.
Yep.
And because people don't rush the pasta. It takes longer for the water to boil than to cook the pasta.
That's right.
So, you know, and again, even though the package says 20 minutes, check it just a few minutes before, because 20 minutes could have been for that whole package, or could have been just for per serving.
Well, and the thinner the pasta, the lighter the pasta, the fewer minutes it takes.
Well, if you're looking at something like angel hair, oh my God, you just throw it in there, stir it, stay there, and then pull it out.
And he's ready.
Real. All right.
That's right.
So that's good. And another one, what about what we talked about, the chicken?
Okay, on the chicken, we want to be sure we handle it carefully. So anything that chicken touches, you have to think is contaminated. Your hands, the cutting board, the counter. So anything.
And jewelry as well.
Jewelry, that's right.
You know, we might wash our hands a lot, but
We
the
don't
thing
wash
is
our
we don't
watch.
watch our watch, and it creeps inside there. That's good. It's always good to know.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, great.
And so, so Chef Manny, you have once again shown us how to create an elegant meal, and this was so easy to do. You know, it's a shame that we just don't do more cooking at home. Let's just start that right now.
Dishes like this, Tim, everybody will love you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
we'd like to thank our sponsors, Brookshire Brothers, a celebration of food and community, and we want to thank our Sodexo partners, and we also want to thank the H.C. Polk Education Center.
Definitely.
And of course, we always want to thank, in addition, our friends at the City of Lufkin for producing and distributing the show. You know, we're in 46 cities now across the country, and of course, we want to thank you for watching our show. We have a lot of viewers that are calling in, or they're telling us when they see us. In fact, Mrs. Malner mentioned how much she enjoys watching the show. Miss Malner, we appreciate that comment. And if you have suggestions or comments or questions about nutrition or cooking, well, send us an email. You can see that address on the page. And also, talking about the H.C. Polk Education Center, if you have a family member or know someone who has diabetes and they're not sure how to control that, you know, those folks at the Polk Center can teach you how to control your diabetes and control your symptoms. They can give you control back to your life.
And that's good.
Call this number right here and they'll get you fixed up. So, Chef Manny, what do you say we have a nice dinner?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, we'll see you next time on Memorial Cooking Innovations.